Tonight, protest, arrest. Row 8 activists clash with police at the Bilia Wetlands. Spared jail. A hospital pharmacist avoids prison for stealing drugs to feed his addiction. Crash landing. A pilot and passenger walk away after their plane ditches into a field. And the local school that's added AFL to the girls' curriculum at the expense of some egos.
This is 10 Eyewitness News, first at 5, with Narelda Jacobs.
Good evening and welcome from our new studios in Subiaco. First tonight, there's been a huge police presence in our southern suburbs as Bilia Wetlands officially became a construction site. The state government today went ahead with works for Row 8, despite a High Court decision pending against the project. 2 people have had a lucky escape after their light plane crashed in the state south. It happened just before 10 this morning near Peasville, about 15 kilometres northwest of Wagen in the Great Southern. The 64-year-old pilot and passenger had freed themselves from the wreckage by the time authorities arrived. They suffered only minor injuries. A 15-year-old girl is fighting for life after a horror crash on Perth's coast. The teenager was a passenger in this green Honda Civic when it collided with the white Volkswagen Golf on West Coast Highway. It's time to get a preview of sport now with Tim Gossage. And Goss, Big Bash cricket is just around the corner.
Yeah, exciting stuff, Narelda. Thank you very much for both the men and women, actually. And tonight we'll focus on the Scorchers girls who have gone on a worldwide recruiting campaign. Also, is this the best catch of all time? Steve Smith's screamer has the cricket world abuzz. And Perfect Pritis, the Eagles midfielder, is way ahead of schedule after having surgery to repair 2 bulging discs in his back. Monday night sport's always the biggest, and that will come out later.
Thanks, Goss. We'll see you shortly. Coming up in 10 Eyewitness News, cash grab. Canberra's plan to take back billions in overpaid welfare. And singing the praises of a very special entertainer. A prison officer was injured during an incident at the Banksia Hill Juvenile Detention Centre overnight. 6 detainees locked themselves in their cells while several others threw rocks at officers from the roof. Michael Schultz joins us now. And Schultzy, a mild start to the week.
Once again, Narelda, we seem to have these mild spells this spring and summer so far. It should be Thursday before we go over 30 once again, but you'll be pleased to know, if you like it warm, that those warm conditions will last through the weekend. The other thing at the moment, as we go to the satellite, is you can see a lot of activity off the northwest coast, and that's been bringing some pretty good falls into the West Kimberley, up to 58 millimetres overnight. Perth today got to a top of 23.8 at 11:30 after an overnight minimum of 12.8. And around the area today, 22 was reported on Rottnest Island and in the hills at Carna. Most were in the mid-20s, and the warmest out to the east was 30 at Northam. Now, the interesting thing on the chart tomorrow is that low off the northwest coast. There is a moderate chance of that developing into a tropical cyclone south of Bali on Thursday. If it becomes a cyclone, it looks like it's going to move away from us, so it shouldn't touch the mainland. See you a bit later.
Will do. Thanks, Michael. Ahead in 10 Eyewitness News, blaze toll. Police uncover more victims from a deadly warehouse fire. And flight chaos as China is choked by smog. The first victims of the deadly Californian warehouse party blaze have been identified. Authorities have raised the official death toll to 33, but it's likely to be much higher, with just a third of the building searched so far. Now, before we move on to sport, you may have noticed we've changed. Tonight, for the first time, 10 Eyewitness News is coming to you from our brand new studios and offices in Subiaco. After 28 years, the lights have been turned off at Dinella, the station on the hill, serving us well from the time Channel 10 arrived in WA in 1988. And now from Hay Street, we enter a new, exciting era. And Goss, there'll be plenty more memorable TV moments to come from our new digs.
Absolutely. The next 28 years are going to be very special, Narelda.
Yeah, they will be. Now, Goss, 20 years. A close shave for an AFL star.
Absolutely. He's gone from looking like an Aussie bushranger to a clean-cut kid, all for charity. Also, a Sydney Swans premiership star joins the Gold Coast Suns. Plus, you can watch this catch from all angles. Steve Smith's brilliant one-hander just gets better every time. Is it the best you will ever see? And we go bush. The Fremantle Dockers, some of the club's new faces, hit the tracks and trails. Welcome to Sport, everyone. Big news for Eagles fans tonight, with West Coast champion Matt Priddis already turning heads at pre-season training despite major back surgery. Priddis forced to repair 2 bulging discs and mending faster than expected. Hawthorn's hopes of winning a 4th premiership in 5 years have been boosted by the return of Jared Roughead. While teammates are hopeful he'll play in round 1, Hawks fans may be forced to wait a little longer. Summer's just begun, but we may have already witnessed the catch of the season, if not the century. Steve Smith's awesome grab even made waves in America. The series with New Zealand continues in Canberra tomorrow. Play of the day. No wonder the Saints can't win a premiership with stuff like that. Usman Khawaja is 68, not out, down at the Wacker for the Bulls. At the moment, Queensland 4 for 158. Tomorrow night, Narelda will be catching up the Wildcats, who are trying to stop a 5-game losing streak. They've lost 4. 5 is unbelievable.
Thanks very much, Goss. Schultz is back with the weather next.
Yes, it's not good.
No,
5 in a row.
They've lost 5 in a row.
They've lost.
Very good evening to you. The dry conditions for the start of December are producing beautiful jacarandas at the moment, and they're enjoying the mild conditions also. The sky scan shows the southeasterlies bringing us a little bit of cloud during the morning. The sea breeze was established around 10:30 and started freshening around 11:30 today, and then we saw the skies start to clear. Got to a maximum today of 23.8 degrees. That was around 11:30 this morning. The overnight minimum was 12.8. At the moment, it's 19.7. The sea breeze is blowing at 20 kilometres an hour. The barometer 1,015.3, and it's starting to rise fairly significantly. The relative humidity around 55%. The daytime temperatures warm out to the east, 30 reported at Northern, but mild along the coast and offshore, 22 on Rottnest Island. The lowest in our area was 20. That was recorded on Garden Island, and that was the equal lowest in the state. Outside the metropolitan area, 20 was reported in the southwest at Shannon. The highest maximum was double that, 40 at Newman, and 5 was the lowest overnight. That was recorded at Ayr, Salmon Gums and Jarrawood. Some pretty good falls through the western part of the Kimberley in the 24 hours up until 9 o'clock this morning. The best of those was on Kimbolton Station, which is northeast of Broome, with a total of 58 millimetres. You can see the activity streaming down from the northwest over the Kimberley down into the interior. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for the southern interior and adjacent eastern goldfields this evening to cover some heavy rain, some flash flooding and large hail. On the chart, you can see a trough over central parts of the state. That southern trough isn't that important. The conditions around that are reasonably dry, but north of the other trough, we're expecting the showers and thunderstorms to continue tomorrow. Strong winds are expected on the Ningaloo coast and the Gascoyne coast. Fire weather warning out for the Gascoyne. The rainfall should be north of that trough, so showers and thunderstorms in the Kimberley, where they could be scattered and there might be an isolated heavy fall. East Pilbara, Interior and Eucla are also going to pick up some shower activity. We'll get a weak cold front pass south of us early on Wednesday morning, and there is a slight chance of that bringing a shower as far north as Perth. Then we're going to take a significant jump in temperatures on Thursday and into the weekend. You can expect temperatures in the 30s over the weekend. Here are the temperatures for tomorrow. A bit cloudy through the southwest land division, but it's generally fine. Up in Broome and in Port Hedland, you can expect a shower or thunderstorm, and a very hot one on the way for Kununurra, 42 there. For the nation, Sydney and Canberra both expecting rain. Both cities could get between 5 and 15 millimetres tomorrow. A shower or two expected in Hobart. In Darwin and Alice Springs, a shower or thunderstorm. The other cities should be fine. On the waters, south to southeasterlies, not very strong, 10 to 15 knots. They'll be going south to southwesterly around the same speed from early afternoon. So seas between 1 and 1.5 metres on a southwesterly swell around a metre. High tides tonight, that's 0.9 of a metre at 24 minutes to midnight. The only tide time tomorrow is a low tide at just under 0.6 of a metre at 5 minutes to 9 in the morning. Sunrise at 3 past 5 and the sunset at 12 past 7. Perth should be partly cloudy tomorrow. The winds will be light to start with and we'll get a moderate sea breeze in the afternoon. A minimum of 12 degrees and tomorrow's maximum should be around 25. Wednesday, with that weak cold front going through, we get no increase in the temperature, so around 25 once again. A slight chance of picking up a shower. On Thursday, it should be sunny, 13 to 31. Then Friday, 36 degrees. Start the weekend with 34 degrees. Sunday, there is a slight chance of a shower, but it'll probably be less than a millimetre, but it still looks like we'd reach around 31 degrees, Narelda. So that's your weather.
Yeah, thanks very much, Michael. And that's all from the Perth newsroom for now. Thanks for joining us for our very first bulletin from Subiaco. Good night.
Good night.